What's up, guys? Welcome back to Diamond Chat. Tonight we got episode 6 and our guest Ethan Conrad on. So what's up, man? How you been?
I've been good. Thanks for having me on tonight.
What's up, Big E? It's my guy, bro. All
How
right.
are you?
I'm good, dude. I'm good. I miss you, bro. I freaking miss
I
you.
miss you more.
All right. So before we get into Marist and the whole thing about your playing career and your kind of process leading up to that, what was the whole thing about Marist beforehand, before committing there? From what I understand, you were a Marist fan before, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah. So actually, my first baseball camp was a Marist camp. I think it was around like 6 years old when I went, and I still got the hat back from that camp. So I'm a big Marist fan since then.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I guess kind of leading off that, what we got to ask is, what was the process like committing to Marist? Was that your school of choice, or were you kind of just waiting to see what was going to happen? If you can just go through that.
Yeah. So 10th grade was COVID, and that was like the year where me and my travel team were, trying to go to all the big events and get seen and get recruited. And then that summer got canceled. So really until my junior year, I hadn't gone anywhere to be seen at all. And then, that junior year summer, I was able to like play in some local, I just got a phone call. Sorry. Play in some local tournaments. And Maris reached out, Mike Koss and Traz, they both reached out and they were talking to me. And I had like some other schools, like local, all local, Albany, Seton Hall, but once I got to Marist and I was able to like just meet everyone, I knew that that was definitely the school I want to go to.
No, definitely. Was that your junior year that you committed, or was it senior year?
Yeah, it was junior year summer going into senior year.
That's
That's all.
awesome.
That's pretty cool. I mean, just being a Mariners fan your whole life and then getting to commit to your dream school at that point. You're like, not only
Yeah, it was
opportunity. So
yeah, it was definitely like awesome because just it was a local school that I just knew, a lot about and it was just super cool.
No, no doubt, no doubt. So can you take us through then, kind of getting on campus, right? How was that transition for you? Coming from high school to college. Take us through your freshman year, which you had a fantastic freshman year, and then anybody who follows baseball, they know what you did your sophomore year. So if you can just take us through a quick little rundown of that.
Yeah, so actually my senior year, I tore my labrum in my glove arm, had to get surgery. I missed my whole senior year. And then didn't really play summer ball before I got there my freshman year. So kind of I was getting back into the swing of things, like just baseball wise, that whole fall really. Like I kind of struggled a little bit, didn't really like, didn't feel right, and then just kind of worked it out, like obviously with you and with like Byram and with the whole team, just grinding every day and just trying to like get back to where I was before the injury. And I think just like the guidance that I had from like coaches and the players around me definitely helped me out. And then I was able to go home and like just train all winter. And then I came back in the spring and ended up having a good spring, but definitely at first like struggled and like it was kind of like a big shock, like wow, like these players are really good.
No, no doubt. I mean, Pat, I know you remember it. I mean, freshman year, he was on the all freshman team. And
yeah.
then we'll get to the sophomore year in a second. But I mean, Pat, you give me a quick little insight. What was it like when we faced you guys and you saw E? I mean, it was just different, right? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like anytime that you get like a scouting report or the coaches to be talking about it, like Ethan's name came up, your name came up, Byron's name came up, and same with Marco, who I'm lucky to be teammates with now. So like definitely like the four of you guys are like really tough outs in that lineup. And whenever we were getting
Yeah.
ready to play you guys for the weekend, like we knew we were gonna face some tough battles, especially with the pitching staff, and it definitely was not gonna be like an easy weekend to say the least. So
Yeah.
No, no doubt. Can we get into real quick? I want you to explain. Yes, you had a good freshman year, right? I mean, I don't know the stats, off the top of my head. I know the range of them. What was it, like 320 with a couple bombs? Uh,
Yeah.
you were always fast and stuff like that. But going into your sophomore year, you then hit, what was it, 390 with 9 homers and like 14 you led the country in triples. You had like 20
Yeah.
tags. What did you do that summer? I know you had a great summer in the Perfect Game League, but did something click? Did you figure out something? I mean, I know we talk about it as players all the time. Oh, I felt this, and now I'm feeling a lot better. So did anything?
Yeah, I think what it was, so my freshman year, it really was like I was just fighting it felt like I was fighting every game to stay in the lineup,
Mm.
and I feel like I was like unsure if if I played bad, like would I sit and just like unsure with myself, and I think like the biggest thing, obviously like physically I probably got a little stronger, maybe a little quicker. But I think the biggest thing from my freshman year to my sophomore year was just like mentally, like just overall like confidence, like I feel like knowing that like I put the work in and like I had a good freshman year behind me and like it's still hard to go out there and perform. But I think definitely the biggest jump from my freshman year to my sophomore year was just like my mentality of knowing that like I belong here, knowing I'm good enough, and like knowing that if I just like do the right things, like I'm gonna succeed. And that's kind of what happened. Like I just went into every game like as confident as possible and like as prepared as possible. And then the results just spoke for themselves.
No
That's
doubt,
huge.
Pat. You do that a lot. You're big on confidence and mentality, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean those are like key points right there because you could be the most physical person, but like they say, 90% of baseball is mental. So like just being like mentally confident and just having the belief in yourself because at the end of the day, like you're the one out there, you're the one controlling like how you perform. So you don't
Yeah,
want to like before you even get out in the field, you don't want to defeat yourself. Like you want to be out
right.
there with a winning mentality. So that's huge.
Yeah, definitely.
nah, dude. Before we get into like the whole, transfer process, this past summer, I just want to throw it out there. I mean, Pat, when I was playing with this dude, he is just the most fun, energetic guy. He made baseball fun. You know, what I mean, we would go up to each other every day, and yeah, you're looking at scouting reports and pictures, right? But I think sometimes you can get a little too serious with that. So he would come up to me my senior year. I was struggling a little bit, right? Come back from my hamstring injury and everything. He'd be like, "Yo, D, let's see who can get more knocks today. Whoever wins that's gonna buy the other one ice cream." And throughout the whole game, it didn't matter who we're facing. I just seem to be loose, relaxed, play better. You see this dude out there getting a couple knocks. He goes deep off Matt Duffy. Matt Duffy, what, fourth round by the
First
by
round
the
pick, yeah, Canisius
uh,
to Boston, yeah. No,
Awesome, yeah. So we're playing them one day. I strike out first at bat, right? I mean, his thing's arm side run, a little bit of two seam action, and I thought the ball was down at my ankles, but it was actually right down the middle, right? Because it had that much spin on it. And he asked me, he goes, "Dude, what's it look like?" I'm like, "Dude, it's a lot of ride, a lot of ride." He's like, "Oh, perfect. I'll hit a home run the center." Dude goes backside, homer, off fourth round, and he's just running around. He comes back in the dugout. I'm like, "Dude, what'd you see on that?" He's like, "I don't know, bro. I just swung." I was like, "Dude, this guy's unbelievable." But I mean, it's just like to that point of just being confident in yourself, and I think that just shows a lot. Kind of to reiterate that, but
yeah,
no,
Yeah.
that,
that's awesome. That's good stuff.
no, that's sweet. But all right, can we now touch on your summer? You go to Saugerties, right? You kind of I don't know if you had an idea that you're going to transfer or not, or if you told the coaches before you went to Saugerties. So how'd that all work out? The entering the transfer portal, going to Saugerties, and then you go to the Cape, and we'll make that a whole other subject because that's just unbelievable,
Yeah,
man.
that's some big time stuff right there, man. So
Yeah. So right at my exit meeting is when I told the coaches over at Marist that I was gonna decide to enter the transfer portal. And then they were understanding, I still talk to them to this day. Like, just I have so much love for them and appreciation, but they were understanding. And then kind of went home, had like a few days to myself, and then summer ball in Saugerty started up, and that was super fun. I was still unaware if I was going to get to go to the Cape because I was signed to the NECBL, and they wouldn't release me. And you're not allowed to. I guess you're not allowed to go to the Cape if you're signed there. I don't know if you guys knew that, but
Yeah.
yeah. So and I was still able to play in the PGCBL somehow. So I was playing there, and then once I committed to Wake, that's when Billy, our coach, was like talking to the Cape and talking to the NECBL guy, and he's like, "You got to release him." And then it ended up happening. So
yeah, that's awesome. I mean, like just even like your transfer process in total. I mean, having those amazing freshman year stats and last year batting like almost 400 and leading the country in triples. Like that experience must have been awesome. Like, going to Marist and like having like a lot of local schools like interested you in high school. And all of
Yeah.
a sudden, like 2 years later, like you're getting like top five, top 10 programs. They're like calling you, like wanting you to play for them. So that must have been awesome, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely crazy. Like I didn't expect as much like traction as I got in the portal. And like the little kid in me was just so happy, like, all these like schools that you dream of going to when you're a kid, like, it's kind of like a moment of realization, like of just your hard work paying off. Like it was a great like few weeks.
Dude, I mean, you're one of the hardest workers I know. I mean, it's just beautiful to see, bro. Can you touch on before we go to the Cape summer season? What schools kind of, you don't have to say what schools offered you, but what are some cool places you went to? Like, did they fly you out too? Like, how'd that work? I mean, I wasn't really a big recruit in the portal. I just so happened to be in the right place at the right time with Dan McDonald, our head coach here at Louisville, seeing me in the Cape, and then it just worked out. I committed within a day. So, how'd it work for you since you were such a big hot topic out of there?
Yeah. So I was gonna take like 3 to 5 visits, and I ended up taking three. It was super tiring, like time, you're just hopping on flights, going back and forth, and then also trying to play summer ball, and you want to make a decision. But yeah, so I ended up my first visit was Arkansas. Um, I went there. I think the second day the portal was open. So I talked to like a few schools and then ended up going down there. And then like came home for a few days, played like a game or two, went to Vanderbilt. And then the next day after that, didn't even come home, came to Wake. And then after that, I just decided I don't even need to see any more schools. I'm gonna go to Wake. So it was kind of just wrapped up within like a week and a half. So
That's awesome. Just cool. I mean, have a visit to Arkansas and go to Vanderbilt. I mean, those are so historic programs. So
yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Dude, I selfishly wish you came to Louisville, bro. But anyways, come on now. But all right, we go to the Cape now. We go to the Cape. Best summer league, arguably ever, right? History. I mean, we can see the big leaguers that played in there in the past and all the players getting drafted. You go there, and I'm not saying dudes go there and they're like, oh, I've heard it's a pitcher's league. Like I'm intimidated as a hitter. You should never be intimidated, right? We talked about confidence before. But what was your mindset going in there? Like dude, what'd you finish hitting 385 and you're a top prospect out of there now for the draft they're talking about. So like what was your mindset going in there and just playing how you did?
Yeah, I remember it was the Cape is something I've wanted to go to ever since like I heard about it. So I mean that was my goal my whole sophomore year was to get into the Cape. And I remember the night before I went, I went into my mom's room and I was talking to her, and she kind of gave me a little pep talk, like you're gonna do good, like because I was just like, you never know what's gonna happen. I mean, you see really good players go there and struggle. So I was kind of just talking to her, and I was like, like what if this happens? What if that happens? And she was like, you're gonna be fine. Like, give me a little pep talk. And then my coach, Coach Landers, for Bourne, great coach by the way, he told me that I was gonna come up that day and then like watch the game, whatever, and then I'll play the next day. So I wake up at like 8:30, drive 4 hours, um, not a lot of sleep. I get there, we hit BP, and then Landers comes up to me. He's like, "You're hitting second today," and I was like, "Oh, okay." So I'm like getting nervous and everything, and I'm like, "Oh man." I thought today was just going to be a chill day and we'll get ready for tomorrow, but I guess not. It just ended up going in there. I remember the first pitch I saw, I swung at it and I like hit a hard ground ball to second, and I was like, we're gonna be able to do this. I was like, this is gonna be fine. And then my next at bat, I hit a single, and next at bat, I hit a double. Ended up having like 3 RBIs that night. We won, and after that, it was just the same old sport I've been playing my whole life. So
Yeah, that's huge. Just talking about like confidence in general, like when you get up to the challenge and just have belief in yourself, you can do it. And you just rolled up in
yeah,
the morning, and you go 2 for 3, and that's great. Just have the
yeah,
mentality that you can always compete with anyone on the field.
yeah, definitely, definitely. You know, biggest thing the whole summer was just belief that you belong there and just a good mentality.
Sure. If there's anybody that can do it, it's Big E, bro. I'm telling you. Hey, so
Learn from
tell us,
you,
how's
bro.
how's the transition? How's Wake doing? How was the scrimmage last week, St. John's? Give us a little rundown with that, and then if you could touch on it real quick. I know we're wrapping up soon, but just talk about a little bit. Is the draft rankings and everything, is that distracting at all? How you handling it? Just want to get a little insight because there's a lot of how it is, a lot of media going around, and you can get consumed in it pretty easily. So
Yeah, definitely the biggest thing is just try not to get too caught up in it. You got guys giving their top 100, then another guy giving their top 100. None of it really matters, and you just got to go out there. There's a big year coming up, so you just got to go out there, stay focused, and we'll just let it all work out. But Wake's been great. I mean, coming down here, the end of August until now, it's been everything I've expected. The guys are just awesome, like great group. The coaches do a great job every day of just making sure we're good and just getting our work in. And it's honestly just been super fun to be able to. I mean, you know what it's like going from like just like kind of like grittier like standards. I mean, but all the stuff we had to do, you know, at Marist that you say to yourself like, why do we have to do this? Like take care of the field, all that type of stuff. And it's just so nice, like just coming down here and just having, like a bunch of like just good things about like just the everyday life.
yeah, I'm sure Pat knows too. Well,
Yeah,
coming from the MAC, I mean.
kind of like
Yeah.
just like sorry to cut you off, Dylan. Even like something that like kind of like you talked about there, which is cool, is just the appreciation that like you have for having the opportunity to play like a bigger program, like especially like coming from Maris, so you were in even at Manhattan, like playing at those places, like you really gotta like love like what you're doing because like
Yeah.
you're around like great coaches and everything, but you gotta love baseball. So like
Yeah.
getting the
Definitely.
opportunity to go to Wake, and you have like all these awesome facilities, like it just makes you like appreciate the opportunities
For
that you
sure.
you're afforded, which is awesome.
For sure. Yeah. Like, you know, coming down here and like, we have great facilities, great everything, but you still look back and you remember like the times where you're hitting out on the Maris field in the dark because there's no lights, like you just remember like all the little things like that. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, can we get two questions real quick, Pat? I think we got room for two more, right?
Yeah, as much as
All
you
right.
want, man.
Let's
Rapid
go.
fire.
Let's go this one first. Any advice you would give to a kid that wants to get drafted, whether he's in high school or in college? Because I think you have a really good point. I'm sure you've always wanted to get picked up, right? So you go from high school, come into Marist, and now you're at Wake using the transfer portal. What would you just say to somebody advice wise, whether it's mentality, physically, whatever?
yeah, I would just say like there are no excuses. Like it's not a coach's fault. It's not your parents' fault. Like at the end of the day, if you want to like put yourself in a position to be drafted, like you need to look in the mirror and realize that it's all up to you. Like, your parents or your coach or your teammates, they can't go in there and take an at bat for you or they can't go pitch an inning for you. Like if you want to put yourself in a position to possibly be selected, come draft night, you're gonna have to work as hard as you can to do that because it all comes down to what you do and then whatever you put in is what you're gonna get out of it. So
Yes, sir. Hey, Pat, you want to ask the last one? I love that. I love that. It's the Maction, bro. The
Yeah,
Maction.
let's do this little action question. So we had Zimbardo answer this question. We had your guy Marco answer this question last night. Give us like your funniest story, like best story that you had at Marist, and it
Yeah,
can it
it
can
can
be
be
anything.
in season, out of season, winter train, whatever it is. Just it could be a funny story, it could be a serious story, but whatever comes to E's mind, I want to hear it.
it's gotta be just coming in as a freshman. Uh, first week everyone's kind of chill and then you just got D there, just being D, bro. Like honestly, like just I don't like You're just a funny kid, dude. You're high energy. Like honestly, when we went on my Marist visit, my senior year of high school, the first thing when I got in the car, I was like, dude, that kid Dylan Hoy is awesome. Like super high energy, like so funny. But that's not really a story. So I'll give you a story. I would say like going back to like the Maction and like what it's all about, like just going out in January, late January. We're about to like fly down somewhere to play our first game in warmer weather in February, and we're practicing on the turf football field, and there's like snow on the outsides, and we're just having snowball fights.
Hey, 9 o'clock at night after night class.
Nine
Remember that?
o'clock at night after night class, we're having snowball fights, and we're just putting the work in, and it's just those are just the memories that you will remember forever. Is just out there in freezing weather and just trying to get better with the boys.
We're trying to get an IO in and our hands are frozen and the lights go off. And we're like, dude,
Yeah.
That's
Pat,
awesome.
did you guys do that at all? Do you guys practice at night at all? Because in the MAC, it's like you don't have your own. I mean, you don't have lights at your stadium. At least we didn't. It's like
Yeah. So like I've been had in Big Gailey Park, which was just like a kind of like a turf soccer field. That's like the only thing we really had in the area. So like we would go out there like sometimes like early in the morning, like do some running and stuff, and then sometimes
Yeah.
maybe a couple times in the fall, like you'd be out there till like 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, and you're just praying like the lights will stay on the turf at like the schools and forget that you're out there. So that's always
Yeah.
just good stuff. Just some good memories with your teammates, just being out there and just grinding it every day.
Yeah. No, for sure.
we appreciate you. E. You're a beast, bro. Nothing but the
Sure.
best of luck this coming season. Just remember to keep your head down, keep working hard, and dude, just go out there and win. Just focus on winning. That's
Sure.
it.
Yes,
Like you were
sir.
saying, man, just be out there, like just be confident as heck, and just go have fun.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
we'll be playing Big E. I think you guys are coming to us this year, so you'll
We're
get.
coming for those Cardinals, D.
Hey, there's a lot of wind going out, so just hit the ball in the air. You'll be successful. Yeah.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, man. Best of
Yes,
luck this
sir.
season to you.